Vincent, what is going on, brother? I cannot hear you right now, man.
Mute.
All
How
right,
about now?
yeah, I can hear you now.
Cool.
Perfect, man. How was your workout, brother?
It was good. It was actually really good. I put on 5 pounds today on mostly everything,
Yeah,
and yeah, it was just good.
awesome, awesome. Well, dude, so as you know, this is just pretty much just a quick little interview just about you, man, your journey since you've made so much progress, like literally week by week, right? It does not stop.
hmm
Super hype, but right now, just introduce yourself. Name, where you're from, how old are you, what you're doing right now, just all those things, brother.
Yeah. So I'm Vincent Barton from San Diego, and I'm 21, about to be 22 in 3 days.
Awesome, man. Three.
So yeah.
Anything planned?
What was that?
I said, you got anything planned? You said gonna do stuff with your girl, right?
Yeah, we're some my girl on my actual birthday, so on Tuesday we're gonna be doing stuff. But today I'm just going out with my uncle to some restaurant, so I'm gonna just try to keep it very lean at the restaurant.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Well, dude,
Yeah.
really hyped so far with just like how much progress we've made. So I know for you, we've made a lot of progress, and right now, I do want to talk about your before first, right? Because I don't want to go straight into like, oh, what you've achieved, how many pounds you've lost, and things like that. Let's kind of start off first with where were you before in your fitness journey, before the coaching program? Like, how was your energy levels, your body, your mindset, your discipline? How you felt about yourself, like all those
Yeah.
things. Kind of describe to me, just like give us a little overview of how you were in the past, brother.
So I mean, ever since I was 18, I really tried to become a bodybuilder, but as an 18-year-old, you're going through so many things in life, new jobs, a place to live, and so I wasn't really consistent with it. But when I turned 20, I started to get more consistent with going to the gym and eating healthy and stuff. But there was a time period between, I want to say, 2021, about a 2 3 month time period where I didn't work out like for 3 months straight.
Mhm.
And then I remember going back to working out, and it was a kick in the ass. I was like not as strong, and I was very confident in myself. But
Absolutely.
uh, but yeah. So the past year before the coaching program, I was actually consistent with it. I just wasn't consistent with the diet.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, 100%. That's where everyone falls off, right? Um,
Yeah.
the dieting aspect of things. So when it comes to your diet in the past, like before joining the program, what do you feel like was just
hmm
struggle? Just like, is it not knowing exactly what to eat? Is it more of like, okay, it's hard to be consistent, or maybe all of those things? Kind of talk about that, man.
hmm So what really was hard for me was, obviously, watching YouTube and everything, you kind of learn like, oh, you got a bowl, you want to build, so just the premises and the basics of everything. But I kind of had this weak mindset where, oh, if I'm on bulk, I'm just gonna eat whatever I want.
Yep.
At the same time, I was getting really strong, but I was gaining amounts of body fat.
Mhm.
Like I was 240 pounds of, muscle, but mostly like fat.
Yeah.
Squatting 400 pounds, barely parallel. And, like, oh yeah, I squat 400 pounds. But then I watched the video, I'm like, it's kind of hard.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And knowing what you know now, you're just like, damn, dude, I should have known, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so for you, man, right now, like, because you were when before joining the program, like you were around what was it, 205 or 210?
Um, it was between 205 and 210, because I wasn't really consistent with the diet at that time period. So it was just like, oh, if I had this today, I'm gonna be like 2 pounds heavier, and if I eat a little bit less, I'm gonna be 2 pounds lighter. So it was just what I was eating.
Okay. Gotcha, gotcha. And for you, kind of going back to how you were, right? Let's talk about like when you first started, or not even that, but before you joined the program, when you were wanting to make this
Mhm.
transformation for yourself. So for you, man, like what do you feel like at that point, right? Like beforehand, before joining the program, what do you feel like was just the really the biggest challenge that you had with fitness, with making a transformation for yourself before joining the Aesthetic Dream, brother?
Yeah. The biggest challenge was for me was my training routine and my dieting. That was pretty much it because I was working out 2 3 hours four different workouts, five different sets, you know, different range of reps,
Yeah.
you know. And I was like, oh, well, I'm bulky, so I should be lift more and lift a lot more. No, it just completely blew my mind.
Yeah. Absolutely. And usually when people, when they first join, man, like a lot of people do say that they're like, "Hey, how come I'm not doing a lot of workouts on this like on this workout for today?" I
Mhm.
usually work out for 3 hours. I'm like, I used to be that same way, and that's why I was, not making any progress because I was overdoing it.
Yeah.
'Cause most people are like, especially you already came in experience, right? You already came in
Mhm.
experience. You already had years under your belt. So it's like most people, they're like, "Oh, the more work I do, the more results I'll get." Right? But
Yeah.
that's you need the perfect amount. You need the perfect amount for you, your body, for you to be able to make progress, as you see now, right?
Yeah.
And for you, man, like kind of going in now, like, we were talking about you before, how the biggest challenges, stuff like that. So let's kind of talk about how you are now, right? Because I know you lost over 20 pounds at this point. You were started at 205 to 210, and right now you are around like 186, right? So
Yeah.
for you, man, kind of talk about what you've achieved with your physique, your weight loss so far, fat loss, the muscle transformation,
Mhm.
strength transformation, and everything. So, what have you achieved so far? And, dude, how do you feel now?
So the biggest thing for me was my biceps. I always felt like my biceps were never gonna grow.
Yeah.
So doing only two exercises per workout, my arms are like, I'm like, oh, I got a vein on my left arm now.
Yeah.
I got that vein coming, and it's just like, okay, this something's, I was doing it wrong before. Now I'm doing it right, and it's just like my arms are growing, everything is growing, besides the body fat.
Yeah.
And that was the thing when I first started. I had that that gut,
Mhm.
and it's gone. It's slim. It's like, oh, I was doing so much wrong, and now I'm doing everything trying to do right.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And kind of going through that transformation because we're not even close, man. We just literally started. So what
Mhm.
been like 9 weeks, right? And you've lost over like
Yeah.
20 pounds right away. So for you, man, how do you feel now? Like not coming out of this, as we just started like 9 weeks ago, and you're making so much more progress than you've been before, even as a
Mhm.
experienced gym goer. How are you feeling now? How with your progress and everything, brother?
Um, it, it's pretty good. Like honestly, you know, it, it it's last time I was 180, I wasn't even lifting as strong as I was.
Mhm.
When I was in the 180s, I was like, oh, I'm tired, I'm depleted. Like I can't do anything. But now I'm like, well, I can have my fats, you know, and it's like I can have certain foods I like, but
Mhm.
in moderation, but mostly higher in protein.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's crazy because I look back and I'm like, this is where I wanted to be a year ago.
Yeah.
Now I'm really taking that step forward, and it's like, okay, if I'm this far right now, how far can I actually take it?
Yeah. Absolutely. You're like, dude, this is just like the first 9 weeks, right? Just imagine
Yeah.
a year from now, right? So I'm hyped too, man. Honestly, every time on my end, we've been talking about your end. On my end, though, every time I go through your check and every time I open up your messages when we're talking on WhatsApp, like every single day, I'm really
Mhm.
excited. I'm like, dude, I know he's gonna hit another PR. I know he's gonna have another win for me. I know he's gonna lose another 2, 3 pounds. He's gonna message me, dude. I lost another 2, 3 pounds. So I'm honestly excited every time I open up your message, man. Like from my end, I'm like, just so you know, I'm fucking hyped too, just as much as you
Yeah.
are. And so for you, man, for anybody, because you've been on the other side, right? You've been on the other side where before you joined the program, I'm sure you were just kind of like, I don't know if this is going to work, how much I'm going to be changing, the whole 9 yards, right? Because you've been already lifting. So if I was to ask you, would you recommend a friend go through the program and why, man?
I would because I worked out with friends before and we were just shooting each other in the foot like, oh, you gotta eat this, no, you gotta do this, you gotta do that.
Yeah.
And it's just like we were just both just colliding all the time because like we didn't really know what we were doing. We were just, oh, if Chris Bumps to do it, we could do it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And so it's just like we were colliding so much. And then I kind of joined this program. And I'm like, okay, now I see behind the scenes. I know how everything's starting to work. I see everything starting to look.
Mhm.
I would recommend that to that friend.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
know,
Absolutely. And so on your end, right? Because like I said, you've been on the other side before, before you joined the program, right? Kind of making that decision for yourself, that investment for yourself, right? So if somebody was, let's say they were on the fence, right? Let's say
Yeah.
somebody was on the fence, they're like, I don't know if I should join the program, I don't know if I should, I've been
Mhm.
consistent results, but is this really going to work, right? What do you feel like is your advice to those people who are like on the fence about making the transformation for themselves and
Yeah.
making that decision to invest in themselves?
For me, it's just like, well, if you really want to take it, you gotta be consistent.
Hmm.
You have to be consistent. And for me, I feel like most people are on the fence because they don't want to make that commitment to like, oh, if I join the program, I can have, the cookies, I can have the candy. Obviously, you're not gonna have any of that for a good time period, but special occasions you can have a candy bar here and there. And then that's the thing I learned is like, okay, well, if my birthday's gonna be coming up, I know I'm gonna go out to eat for my birthday, so I'm just gonna wait for my birthday to have that high in sugar and food again,
Hmm.
you know?
Hmm. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Awesome, man. Well, dude, so for you, kind of going back to just everything else, obviously your transformation, not only that, like this is literally just the beginning of your transformation, right? We got so much more to go.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited, but just for overall, any last words for anybody who's kind of like, you know, thinking about that, making that transformation for themselves, what would be your final advice to them, man, for anybody thinking about joining the aesthetic dream?
My advice,
Mhm.
you just gotta be committed. You have to be commitment to this because like my whole entire life, everybody has told me in classes and practice and football and everything, you'll get as much as you put into it.
Yep.
If you're just like whatever, you're not gonna get anything back. But if you're like, okay, I'll listen to what they say. If
Yep.
I have questions, I'll ask. I'll get help, and I'll listen to it. And then if I do what I'm recommended, I can possibly change if I do it properly.
Mhm.
And that's
Absolutely.
just what people gotta do.
Yeah, 100%. Like the roadmap is there. All you got to do is follow it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome, man. Well, dude, this is great. I think your journey so far will transform a lot of people and also help a lot of people. You put a lot of wise words, so I appreciate you, man. But dude, other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Appreciate you, man. I'll talk to you soon, and then yeah, man, we'll text right after this. All right.
All right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
I'll see you, Vincent. Peace.
Yeah.